NBA players just can't stop talking about Nikola Jokic.
I know how great he is. I know how great Joker is. There's certain guys in this league that play the game a certain way that I like to play the game as well. And he's one of them, where you are always off balance when you guard a player like that because of his ability to score, rebound, shoot.
Nikola Jokic is quickly cementing a legacy as one of the greatest NBA players of all time. At the young age of 29, he's already amassed his third MVP along with a championship to his name. The reason is because he defies all traditional norms about what enables players to dominate at the highest level. Traditionally, it was elite athletes, high flyers, and lights-out shooters that separated themselves from the pack. However, Jokic is none of those things. The dude plays the game like he's wearing flip-flops at your local park. Jokic can barely jump off the ground and looks more like a U-Haul employee than an NBA star. But still, he has broken the league by becoming a new breed of basketball player never imagined before. Like LeBron stated, most NBA fans can't even comprehend the fine details with Jokic's game that makes him the best player in the entire world. Jokic embodies an abundance of rare attributes that had never even been measured by NBA scouts before his arrival. That's why he was passed over by every team and wasn't drafted until the second round in his draft year, 41st overall. Yet he overcame all odds and has become the only MVP in league history that wasn't selected in the first round of the draft. In this exclusive interview on Michael Porter's podcast, Denver Nuggets owner Josh Kroenke went into depth about how the team found Jokic and when they realized that they had something special on their hands.
I don't know how that's going to translate, but that player's basketball IQ is obviously off the charts.
Yeah.
My dad actually has really good stories about being down in the weight room, early in the morning that summer, and Nikola would be in there every morning with his two brothers.
Larry Bird is one of the most cerebral and accomplished players in NBA history, a top 10 player of all time. So we did a deep dive on what the Nuggets analytics team meant when they made those lofty comparisons. On the surface, Bird was a lot more accomplished during his first 2 seasons in the league. He was already averaging over 20 points per game, 10 rebounds, and was a 2-time All-Star. But he was playing almost 38 minutes per game compared to Jokic's 25 minutes. So to make a straight comparison, the Nuggets staff looked at the pair's numbers per possession and on an equal minutes basis. And they found that per 36 minutes, Jokic's scoring totals were comparable to Bird's, but he contributed more than him in other aspects of the game. Jokic was already proving to be a significantly better rebounder and passer than Bird, despite being younger when he entered the league. And he logged those numbers with a lower usage rate, meaning the team gave him less proportional touches on the offensive end of the floor. Yet Jokic had a far better player efficiency rating, a metric that analysts use to determine how productive players are in all facets of the game when they are on the court. This was largely due to Jokic's off-the-charts efficiency metrics, as well as his passing and rebounding totals. For example, Jokic had a way higher field goal percentage, effective field goal percentage, and true shooting percentage, despite taking almost double as many three-point attempts per 36 minutes than Bird. Those metrics forced the Nuggets to thrust him into the team's starting lineup, and he hasn't looked back. His analytics only improved with more on-floor opportunity. In fact, Jokic has the best career player efficiency rating of any NBA player to ever step foot on the court. Second on the all-time list is Michael Jordan, and third is LeBron James. Paul George went into detail about some of the more subtle skills Jokic possesses that separates him from the rest of the league on J.J. Redick's popular podcast, The Old Man and the Three.
What do you see with Jokic? What is about him that is so special?
Man, he is just it's crazy because he's not by any means the athletic guy on the floor, but he just knows his game. I think he's a player that just knows who he is on that court.
PG went into detail about how his size and skill creates mismatches that make Jokic extremely difficult to guard. But one thing he mentioned that we want to dissect into further detail are Jokic's quick hands. There's a reason why guards are typically smaller and quicker than big men. and why they generally serve as facilitators on the offensive end of the floor. Most bigs, though large and powerful, don't have the quickness and coordination that Jokic has. How does this benefit Jokic? Well, it enables him to dictate pace in an unconventional way and make special plays after receiving imperfect passes. Since he has such a big body, a large wingspan, and soft hands, his teammates can get him the ball in spots where other bigs in the league would be considered not open. In some ways, he's like the NBA's version of a skilled tight that is too big for defensive backs to cover and too skilled to be covered by a linebacker. Jokic uses his body to create separation and his hands in reach to catch balls without having to move away from his favorite spots on the floor. He then can corral the ball and makes fire passes with no hesitation, quicker than other players would be able to even secure possession. Jokic's teammates are fully aware of this ability and can make screens and cuts in cadence with Jokic at a pace that other teams just aren't used to. So before opponents are even set on defense, he's already hit Aaron Gordon down low for an easy dunk or Michael Porter for a three coming off a pin down. These unique skills at his size, along with the chemistry he has with his Nuggets teammates, enable an offensive scheme unlike any other team in league history. Jokic might not be the most explosive or fastest big man in history, but he's certainly amongst the most coordinated, which counts for an awful lot. It's a big reason why he's the best passing center to ever play the game. Paul George also briefly mentioned his second jump, which is related to his coordination, but more specifically, how he uses unconventional footwork to dominate, which Jaren Jackson Jr., the 2023 Defensive Player of the Year award winner, discusses in detail in this next clip.
He's doing just about everything out there. Coming off the screen into a post-up. He's coming off a wedge into the post-up, whipping the pass, and then like out of nowhere when you think it's a three ball. I'm like, oh my God. They get the arc and you're just like, come on. He don't miss. I haven't seen him miss a shot against us like probably ever.
And they like dagger shots too. Like, God, he made
Off
that.
one leg, he looks crazy in the face. He looks like
No
he's not
emotion.
even trying.
What part of his game is surprising to you?
Just how he uses his size, like any angle. He's creating his own angles, but any angle it's over. If he's not trying to like just hook you, he's just trying to get in a position to get his own miss right at the rim. So he's just making that move, hooking you a little bit, throwing it up there, and then moving you. Right as he's shooting it, he's moving you.
Yeah.
And you're not ready because you contested, but he knows. He doesn't leave his feet.
Right.
So he's already on the ground. He's moving you,
Right.
rebound.
Right.
Lucky.
One thing Jackson touched on is how Jokic barely leaves the ground and how he uses that to his advantage. Traditionally, rebounding has been more associated with jumping, and footwork is often associated with quickness. But Jokic dominates in a completely different way. Much like Luka Doncic in Dallas, Jokic barely jumps. As a prospect, scouts were quick to point to that as a negative, but now we're realizing that it might not be the case and instead enables some unique advantages. While defenders like Jaren Jackson are praised for getting above the rim and blocking shots, Jokic uses those physics against him. He's always solid to the ground and balanced. Therefore, he can use his brute strength to move players when they are in the air to create angles, score layups, and get rebounds. That's why Jokic isn't only amongst the most efficient players in the league per possession, but that he is also amongst the best at creating extra possessions for himself and his teammates. And contrary to common perception, Jokic uses those same skills to dominate on the defensive end of the floor as well. He's amongst the best at using his size and strength to contest shots without losing his balance or fouling. And then he gets possession back for his teammates by almost always pulling down the miss and not letting opponents get second chances. That's how Jokic finished third best in the NBA this past season in defensive rebounding, fourth in defensive rating, and first in the entire league in defensive box plus minus. But we can't discuss Jokic's greatness without mentioning that beyond his uncanny physical gifts, he's also one of the smartest basketball players in history. And who better to break down his basketball IQ than LeBron James on his podcast Mind the Game with his co-host JJ Redick. But first, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Would make you have to make the tough decision.
Yep.
Do I help on his spin Do I let him score?
Yeah.
Or do I stay home on Aaron Gordon?
Yeah. And
then it's the anticipation, the cognitive load, all that stuff.
Yeah, I saw a stat on Jokic last year, and I don't know the exact number, but in the finals, in the finals versus Miami, he shot like 70% from the free throw line in. Like catching the ball at the free throw line, either or floaters when he catches in the pocket, like 74%. That's insane. So when he turns and he's going to this, you're thinking, okay, let me try to get a contest. Meanwhile, he has Aaron Superman Gordon flying in from the corner.
When dissecting Jokic's basketball IQ, it takes brilliant basketball minds like LeBron and JJ Redick to fully break it down for us. The concept being discussed in the last clip was what is referred to as court mapping. Court mapping is basically an understanding of where every player on the court is and how they will react to different actions on the court. While some players have skills and athletic advantages, Jokic's ability to read the floor and every player on it in a split second is a rare gift. It's like he's using high-speed internet while the other players are all using outdated software. Jokic also has incredible self-awareness, understanding his own game and where he shines brightest, but also has the same keen awareness about his teammates and opponents. His genius brain enables him to manipulate spacing, mismatches, and tendencies to his and his teammates' advantages. Combine Jokic's IQ with his size, ability from anywhere, then tag on all those other subtle skills and attributes that we broke down earlier in the video, what you're left with is an unstoppable basketball force. Or as Tracy McGrady put it in this next video, the best basketball player on the entire planet.
Organized basketball, who we taking? Who we taking?
No, I get it. I'm fucking with you, but, excuse my French, sorry.
Who we taking, though?
I'm messing with you.
You still ain't answering my question.
Who you like? Listen.
Who's the best player in the game right now? Okay?
I give it to you. I'm not disputing that. Because I don't go off what's been said, his actions. He's going out proving it.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't go against that. Joker is probably the best player in basketball today, as we see him in the street.
Fact,
absolutely.
Bro. He's tough.
Clearly, even retired Hall of Famers like T-Mac and Garnett are realizing that Jokic's game is on a whole other tier. One thing that T-Mac mentioned was his ability to execute on offense on such a consistent basis. That doesn't just take IQ or skills, it takes a keen focus and a mental toughness. While his laid-back personality leads some to believe that he might not have a killer instinct, that couldn't be further from the truth. His mental makeup is amongst the most elite in league history, and the proof is in the proverbial pudding. The dude was once criticized by Kendrick Perkins for padding his stats, but that couldn't be more untrue. Perkins' claims are coming from that of an NBA player who lacks the basketball intelligence to fully comprehend the intricacies and subtleties that truly make Jokic an all-time legend. He's proven that his game, though unconventional, make him an absolute force to be reckoned with. But if you want to watch a video about players who did cheat the game, we've got that ready for you. So click the video link currently on your screen, which is all about NBA players who got caught cheating.